Hi everybody, welcome to my next restaurant review. Uh, I know, I do want to say one thing. I know Richard isn't real big on, like multiple uploads at like one time. I know he used to complain about that, but, this is like one of those instances where it's like, I want to get these all done while I'm thinking about it, and get them all uploaded at the same time, so that way gets, everything done at once, just do it all up, get it all over with, and be done with it. That's my opinion. But it is, in this next restaurant review, it's kind of like, well, this one is like a, 80-20, 80% a good experience and 20%, well, it's not a bad experience, it's just, people being, in a word, stupid. Um, well, as y'all may know, I can't say for sure if I've talked about it. Tony's birthday is in December. I won't say when. If he wants you to know, he'll tell you. But Tony and I actually went out for his birthday. Excuse me, earlier this month, in December. Well, uh, Tony actually gets 3 birthday presents from me. He's a very lucky man, to be loved as much as I love him. Just saying. Well, anyway, what it is the reason why he gets 3 birthday presents from me, and I'm gonna have to explain this to where this makes sense. Normally he gets 3 birthday parties. Like, we do birthday with the Three Stooges, and then we do a birthday party with like his friends, and then there's like a romantic date for me and him, and 3 birthday presents. Typically, and this is usually how I do it, and I did this to him this year, did this to him last year. Tony got his first birthday present for me was next year's calendar that I'd made and ordered from Shutterfly. The second birthday present and his third birthday present were photo albums. The first photo album was our first photo album from our vacation this year in September, where Tony and I went to do some of the Bourbon Trail and the horse park and etc. etc. The second one was from the Ohio Renaissance Festival from 2011, last year. What it is I'm going to talk about Tony's second party, because, well, the first party, let's not go there. It wasn't bad or anything, it's just interesting. We'll just leave it at that. The second one was when Tony and I got together with his friends. Ironically enough, everybody was late. We were late, and all his friends that showed up were late too. So, yeah, they're like, "We're sorry we're late." We're like, "We don't care. We were late too," because Tony, being the silly goose that he is, he walked off and managed to forget his cell phone that night. And so he's like, we got like all the way like up the street and like out on 27, and he went, "Oh shit, I forgot my cell phone." And I went, "Really?" And like he turned around and went back home, and we got his phone, and then we left and went to the restaurant. Well, the restaurant, I want to kind of talk about that experience we had there. Tony and I have had 2 gift certificates to the Hofbrauhaus for $25, voucher we got from restaurant.com. Well, the food and the waitress were fine. We had no problem with them at all. It was just the hostess. We got in there, and it's like right as we got there, it was like this like whole mob come in right on our heels, literally. So they just all of a sudden, bam, just got slammed all of a sudden at the hostess stand. Well, what happened? I said, well, can we get like a reservation for tonight for 6, or get a table for 6 was what I meant to say. Well, they're like, yeah, and I'm like thinking, hello, you work here? You should act like, be like, yeah, sure, I could get you a table. That's not a problem. And it's like it was just a whole comedy of errors dealing with the hostesses and the host. They finally, you know, figured out, okay, there's like going to be like 6 of us, 5 or 6 of us, and they, ended up taking my cell phone number and everything. And, what was a real annoying thing is this guy behind us was like, "Hey, are you gonna wait on us?" And I'm lucky I didn't turn around. He's lucky I didn't say to him, "Dude, really, wait your turn. You're next. You'll get waited on. Have patience, little boy." And I just gave him this look of like, "You are stupid." Well, what ended up happening is the host ended up saying, "Yeah, can I get, your phone number and everything?" Because what the Hofbrauhaus does is they, instead of giving you those like coaster looking things that light up and vibrate and stuff when your table's ready, what the Hofbrauhaus does is like they'll text you on your cell phone and tell you your table's ready. Well, I gave the kid my number, whatever, no big deal. And we were waiting on, Tony's friends to show up anyway, and they showed up after we got a table and stuff. So, I mean, it was fine. We'd already gotten seated. Well, what wound up happening is they ended up texting me and saying, "Okay, your table's ready," and it wasn't yet. And I was like, I just looked at the kid, I'm like, seriously? How could you just completely botch this up? I mean, they acted like it was like, like it was like their first time, being a host or hostess, And I'm like, how inexperienced or how inept can you make yourself look? Seriously. Um, then, what wound up happening is, we stood around and waited, and finally got the table ready. The waitress, as I mentioned earlier, was completely fine. We had no beef with her. She was just off the hook good. She brought her A game, where the hostess was bringing like their F game or something. Well, it was just, that waitress, we showed her our gift certificate and everything, and she was fine with that. And then we, ordered our drinks, and then we ordered an appetizer while we were waiting, because I was getting kind of cranky and mean because, we really hadn't eaten a whole lot that day. And I was like, okay, I'm getting hungry. I'm about to bite Tony, And after we got our drinks and got the appetizer, or as we were waiting on the appetizer, I gave Tony his birthday present, which was, the photo album from our September trip, one of them. Then, Tony's friends started filtering in, and, we ended up having a great time. I'm not going to talk about who was there and stuff, although, I do have to say it was, pretty good thing. At one point, we finished eating, and obviously, and we got up, we paid, got up and left. Well, we walked across the street to, Newport on the Levee, and kept having a good time there. But anyway, I just wanted to say, at the Hofbrauhaus, where I got that gift certificate for them from restaurant.com. Restaurant.com sent me an email later saying, would you do a review of, your experience at the Hofbrauhaus? Well, oh, believe me, I did it. Yeah, that's for darn sure. I did it. And I talked about, the ineptitude of, the host staff, the hostess staff. And, I mean, it's like, not like I'm trying to bash them or anything, don't get that idea. It's just, I think that whoever the management is at the Newport Hofbrauhaus, I think they need to seriously retrain or coach or whatever you want to call it, the hostess staff, like the welcome staff or whatever you want to call them. Because I mean, really, it just that's like a bad first impression of the restaurant. I mean, it's like, how would that look if Tony and I hadn't eaten there before? It's like we knew the food would be fine and the wait staff would be fine, but that is a really, really negative first impression where they acted like they were too dumb to tie their own shoes, basically. And it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, granted, I know that everybody has one of those dumb moments, but, I mean, like I said, it's a customer service position that they're in, and, it made them look like they were stupid. And I mean, that's a pretty negative ding on them. And I did mention in the restaurant review, uh, on restaurant.com, I did say, but, the waitress was fine, the food was perfectly fine, we had no problem. We loved our waitress. I forget her name, but she was perfectly fine. I mean, we said we hope if we ever go back there, we'll get her again. You know, um, but yeah, I mean, it's just we're like, yes. I mean, and it's like I got the Brockenschvelter or something. I forget, but it was beef with it was like braised beef in vinegar or something, and it was really good. It came with apple kraut and mashed potatoes and gravy. That's what I got. Then Tony got whatever it was that he liked a whole lot there, and his one friend got like chicken, the other one got fish or something, I forget. But we all enjoyed our food immensely. But anyway, I still do recommend the Hofbrauhaus. It's just they need to work with their hostess staff some and make sure they don't make themselves look incompetent. Well, anyway, hang on. I got more videos to shoot here. All right, so hang on.